Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Anna McNaught, and I will be your host today. I am joined by Sara Laninga. Sara, welcome. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you here too. Sara is an incredible graphic designer and known for her packaging design. And I believe we're going to be doing a little packaging design today, right?
Yep, that's
awesome.
Correct.
Yeah, that would be great. Welcome everyone into the chat. Hello, Voodoo Val. I miss you so much. Hope you're doing well. And hey, Steve, PJ, RB, thank you for being here with us today. A few housekeeping things before we dive into everything. This week, our creative encores are themed. So tune into the Illustrator Creative Challenge where you'll learn how to create and use logos within the app. This is every weekday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, right before this stream. And then if you missed the previous stream, don't forget that you can always watch the replay on Behance or on YouTube and check out Sarandon, where he will create retro style ads for Nintendo SP using Photoshop. So be sure to check that out and follow along today for our graphic design tutorial with Sara. And Sara, let's just dive right into it. I would love to take a look at your portfolio and get to know you a little bit better and get to it.
Cool. Sounds good. So yeah, I'll show you guys my Instagram first, because I feel like that's kind of the best representation of my work and where I'm like most present. So I do a lot of graphic design. I feel like I'm kind of known for my branding and packaging. And also a lot of just like personal projects, to be honest. I like to just create a lot of personal projects to put out there. So like a lot of collage work, even illustration I love to dabble in. I've also got, of course, my Behance account you can check out. And then I even do YouTube. So it's more like behind the scenes art stuff and like art projects, design projects, packaging projects. And yeah, that's kind of what I do.
It's so cool. I love it all. And you're really good at packaging design. That's something that I've always kind of struggled with a bit. And I feel like I love your use of color and subtle like design elements. It's really gorgeous.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely like really into like any sort of color and texture. I'm like, that's just very much what I'm into.
Awesome. Yeah. I love it. Everyone's super stoked to be here in the chat and very happy to have you teaching us today.
Cool. Yay. Well, I'm super excited to be here as well. And thank you everyone who's joined. I hope you enjoy.
Yes.
Cool. Should I get started bringing over Illustrator?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's dive right in, and I'll let you know if anyone has any questions or wants to see anything else.
Cool. So today I'm going to be working on a personal project. So it's going to be just like a case study project for my portfolio and also for like Instagram and things like that, essentially. I think those are like super great ways to like get your work out there and especially showcase like what your strong suits are and stuff like that in terms of design. So yeah, I'm going to be designing a vegan sustainable soap brand, just like a soap bar brand, a few different variations of that. So yeah, I'll walk you through what I have so far and kind of what I've got going on. So here I've got a mood board. Obviously, you always want to start with mood boards to like get the design inspiration going. So I'm thinking something just quite natural and organic. So lots of texture and color. As you know, I love texture and color. So yeah, I've got mood boards and color. And then because this is a personal project, it's not like there's not as many rules I have to follow. Obviously, it's more just going to be existing on like my social media platforms. But I do like to set some guidelines for myself, because if you don't have any guidelines, then it's like, where do you go with it? So I like to map out the hierarchy on the front of pack, which I've got here and we'll be working on today. and then the hierarchy on the back of pack, which I'll also be working on. And then some few other ideas. I even like to go as far to write a to-do list, because I think if I don't have a to-do list, it's quite overwhelming when you've got to design logos, search fonts, colors, and things like that. So definitely have a to-do list. And then with these projects, I also, because it's a personal project, you can come up with whatever name you like. So I haven't actually decided on a name yet. I've got a handful of ideas generated, but we can go through that as well. And then fonts, which I'll be exploring more, but I do like to get kind of like baseline fonts ready to go. And then, we'll be looking at more fonts. And then lastly, I've got the dieline. So today is just mainly branding, so like logo and potentially sub logos, and then packaging. And then tomorrow will be more like mockups and then additional brand collateral. So that's
awesome.
Where I'm at right now.
This is so genius to have this laid out and to have like the brand information with the to-do list. Like, what a great idea for staying organized. And even though, like you said, it's a personal project, when you're doing client work, a perfect way to stay on top of your tasks and any information that you need, and even feedback notes. So
definitely. I used to work at a design studio, and if I didn't write a to-do list, I'd even break it down into like 2 hours are going to be researching fonts, 3 hours of color, because if you don't, it's just too overwhelming. So I definitely do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone is into your mood board too. That's a work of art in itself.
I know, there's so much pretty like inspiration. I'm hoping to do some illustration as well. I love this cool font here. It must be hand drawn, but it's super cool.
So cool. And where are you pulling this from? Just different websites or Pinterest?
Pinterest and Behance. Even I think some are from Instagram as well.
Awesome. Question for you real quick from the chat. Christy asked if you have a website showing your portfolio, such as Adobe Portfolio or Squarespace.
I have been meaning to set up a website. I don't know. None of my clients have ever asked to see like an official portfolio. So I've always just sent my Instagram and Behance if like they want to see something more professional than Behance. But I'm working on it. I haven't seen like a pressing like urgency to create a portfolio.
I totally know the feeling. It's definitely tough to keep up with the website. And then Beatrice said, where did you take your course, and where did you graduate from? Love your work.
Oh, thank you. So I actually studied in New Zealand at Auckland University of Technology. So I studied communication design and specialized in graphic design. So it was like a 3-year degree.
Wow. What a place to study. So
I know,
cool.
It's nice. I missed like the nature coming from New Zealand to Dallas. I'm like, I miss the nature.
Oh, I bet. I bet. So cool.
Well, I guess I'll get started then. I'm try to answer questions along the way and stuff.
Perfect.
So I am thinking for this brand, to be honest, with personal projects, I tend to like pick a name that works well with the font and like just aesthetically what works best, because with the personal project there's no rules. So I may just explore some fonts and see what looks best with some of these. I think some of these are my favorites. I'm thinking bubbly is kind of cool because I mean makes sense with soap. I was thinking like Allbirds kind of was like an inspiration, could be all suds, like the suds. Carried maybe. Bubbly is kind of simple, but I do kind of like it. And I think with some of these fonts, they do look quite bubbly as well. So it could be really cool. But I think I may just start with these fonts and see what looks best so far. But if anyone in the chat as well has any name ideas, definitely let me know, because I'm not like set on anything yet.
Yeah, let us know if any of you are thinking of some cool names for Sara's project, if it's from the list of favorites, or maybe you have another fun soap name that you have been waiting for a project and now's your chance.
So I always like to do caps and lowercase just to see what looks best.
Oh yeah, that's smart.
Let's see. Let's just do it here. And then these are more on the right-hand column. I'm thinking more for body copy because some of these obviously are quite crazy. You wouldn't want to use these for your body copy.
Yeah.
And then a lot of these fonts are also just trial fonts for now because I'm not sure like what I'll go with, but I love this font especially. GT Maru Mega is very cool and very bubbly as well.
I love that. It's so cute.
I know, yeah. It's so fun. I've used it recently for another project though, so I'm like, maybe I shouldn't keep using this font.
It's so great. Val asks, where do you find your fonts and how do you typically pair them?
I find my fonts like a lot of different places. Obviously, Adobe is a great place, like Adobe Fonts, and they're all free as well with Adobe. I also find them, I like Typewolf, and they also have like Adobe dupes that are free, obviously. Typewolf, I'll spend like hours and hours scrolling through. I also like Future Fonts is cool. They've got really like weird, edgy fonts. Yeah, I don't know. I just sometimes will Google like cool type foundries and then just see what they have.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, that one's fun too.
I know. Yeah, this one's really cool. I think New Spirit may be an Adobe font as well. I'm like 99% sure it's an Adobe font.
Oh yeah, and Tango. I think I've definitely
like that's
used
gonna
that one.
look weird with.
Yeah.
Oh god, it's too much. I was like, should I even try this? I could go the route of this hand drawn too, but I kind of want it to be like a little bit bold and edgy in a way for some reason. I think that's quite like I feel like you see this kind of aesthetic with the hand drawn natural with soaps a lot. So going more kind of bold and edgy could be a little bit different. Like this one I found on Behance the other day, and it's just so cool. Like if it's a long word, like I feel like bubbly, it might look too much, but like if you had a logo that was like 4 letters or something, I feel like that would look really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see how bubbly is gonna look in that.
Yeah.
And that one's cool.
Okay, let's see. Interesting. I mean, I could edit it, alter it. The bees are quite, I'm not sure how I feel about the bees, but I love I don't know. We'll see though. I really like this font and I really want to use it, but we'll see.
I know, it's like, it's almost with the 3 bees lined up.
It's too much.
Similar. Yeah.
I mean, I could even do like different bees, maybe like change them a bit so they're different.
Yeah. This is going to be awesome.
I might even just leave the body because I'm pretty certain these I'm going to want to use one of them for the body copy. So I might just leave those for now. Let's see.
Let's see, I had a question for you up here. Christy wants to know, what camera do you use for the photography of your design?
I recently bought a new camera. It's a Canon. Oh, I don't remember what it is. It's one of like the newer cameras, but it's not, it's like, there's like, I think a Canon R and like a Canon RP or something. I think mine's like not the more advanced one, but it was like fairly affordable in terms of DSLR cameras, I think.
Okay.
But I love it because I had like a super old DSLR camera prior to that, and it just wasn't very good. It didn't have autofocus or anything. I had to have my like boyfriend like stand behind the camera and be like clicking, and I was like holding the products, and
oh my god,
like,
yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Christy, definitely just any sort of DSLR would be really good for your design projects, or even a mirrorless is great as well.
I also kind of like the name Squeaky, like squeaky clean. I don't know if part of me is like, oh, that's weird, but then part of me is like, oh, it's kind of cool. I'm not sure.
Let's see. So Val says, what are your favorite pieces of equipment that you use aside from the camera?
That's a good question. I think And if you're asking in terms of product photography, I think some nice backdrops are always good. I like you can just get like vinyl sheets of backdrop, so it's obviously not like real. So you could get like vinyl fake marble. It's kind of like a waterproof piece of paper basically. Those are always good. A good lighting setup, or at least like a big nice window for natural light, that's always good.
Yes.
Yeah,
and do you tend to print out your personal projects? Like, will you actually make this into a soap label and everything?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I like to print them out because I think I don't know, I think I like to shoot it rather than using mockups. I'm actually not doing it this time, but I will still print it out because I just like the tactility of it. And like sometimes I like to like print out the die line and then scan it back in.
Cool.
Because it's got that kind of like tactility to it, which is nice.
Yeah. This is cool, kind of taking that font and now putting other words into it.
Yeah. I love the E.
Yeah, it's so
the E is
cool.
like so different from the others. But Bear is kind of like a simple name. I don't know if that's like, it doesn't have much depth and storytelling to it. I feel like it's just kind of like a bear. Maybe we should just go with bubbly.
What do you think, chat? What are y'all leaning
What's
towards?
the consensus? I need help.
PJ said, call it Warsh.
Warsh. Let's see. I'm also thinking, I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys, but I'm thinking the soap, like kind of its point of difference can be like, kind of like the Tom's shoes, where it's like, you buy a shoe and they donate a shoe. So it can be like, I was thinking like soap for soap. So for every purchase, like 10% would go towards purchasing like hygiene supplies for those in need. And I was thinking of maybe doing like a little lockup for that.
That's
awesome. So I was thinking the name could be maybe potentially inspired by that, like divvy, like divvy up, or something could be inspired by that.
Bailey said, I love squeaky.
Squeaky. Okay. I do like the letter forms with squeaky for sure.
Yeah, definitely really fun. You got the E right in the middle there.
Yeah. And there's not, it's quite long, but let's play with that for now. I don't think it could be cool if they're even overlapping a bit, maybe. Let's see. It's cool because this font even has like little imperfections and it's quite like jaggedy, which is really neat.
Have you ever made any of your own fonts?
No, I've thought about it, but I don't think I'm knowledgeable. Like I haven't really studied typography like that deeply to where I feel like if it was to be something, I think it would be quite quirky and like break all the rules because I'm not like that, I don't think I'm capable of doing like, something super nice and clean.
Yeah, I feel like full on typography is a whole thing in itself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's a whole different ballgame for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. I feel like if I want to add personality to a logo, like this is my go-to, like any sort of warp, like flag or arch. It just suddenly it's like, okay, now it's customized. Let's see.
Yeah, it makes it so fun.
So
let's see. We got squeaky, squeaky, bubbly, squeaky. Nikki said the letters look like bubbles. I don't know. It might be squeaky.
Okay, maybe we should do squeaky then. I'm kind of realizing though it's almost not legible. Like the U is quite like I
know. I have to like pull back to look at it.
Let's see. We'll come back.
I know, now that I know what it says, I can't unsee it, but it is hard to read.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Val said I can read it, so maybe we're okay.
Thank you, Val, for the support. Okay, well, we'll maybe come back to this. I think this font's pretty cool as well. It's just kind of edgy, and I don't know, I haven't seen anything like it in a while.
Ooh. It's really cool too.
Yeah.
I feel like so much of it depends too on the colors you end up using and like your other design elements.
Yeah. I do feel like it's hard. I'm intentionally like sticking to black because I know it's best to not be influenced by color, but if I was designing not in front of people, I'd be like using color right now and stuff.
For sure.
It's just so tempting, but yeah, it's best to probably design black and white first.
Yeah. Beatrice asked, what are the designers and artists that inspire you the most?
Ooh, I feel like a lot of the designers that inspire me are like people that I follow on Instagram, like just peers and stuff on Instagram, and like a lot of my uni friends and stuff. One person I always am like have been obsessed with for the longest time is Mackenzie Birch, who was actually on Adobe Live a while back, and I love her stuff. Like anyone on Instagram who's like in this world, like freelance designers, I'm always like constantly inspired by, especially with freelancers. I feel like they're just always like, I don't know, I feel like when you don't work for somebody, there's like less rules, like you kind of just, you're in charge of yourself, and I don't know, I feel like a lot of people come up with really cool stuff.
Totally. I know that there's so much good stuff on Instagram. That's always a question I get too, of who I'm inspired by, and I'm like, just scroll through my feed and you'll see who I'm inspired by.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like too many people to count.
Yeah. I think this one kind of feels soapy and bubbly and has nice personality as well.
Yeah, I really like that too.
Okay, so this one and this one. Well, that cue's interesting.
Yeah.
A very cool cue.
Richard said it could be called Sudsified.
Sudsified. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. How do you even spell that?
Sudsified.
Sudsified. For some reason that sounds like techie to me. I don't know why, but it's such a cool, so funny. I kind of like the all lowercase with that. That's kind of cool.
I feel like it's so hard to choose. That's the thing, is you end up with all these really cool fonts, and it's like, how do you ever pick?
Yeah, and especially with some of these fonts with so much personality, it's almost like I don't feel like it should be altered too much in a way, because it's already like so, has so much personality.
Yeah.
I may just look on Adobe for some fonts quickly too.
Val wants to know if you have any non-design inspirations, such as music or movies.
That's a good question. I don't know if painting is considered I guess it's considered non-design. It's just art, I guess. But I used to be like super into painting in high school, like oil painting and stuff like that. So maybe painting, I guess.
Oh, cool.
I follow a lot of painters on Instagram as well, so.
Do you feel like that has kind of influenced your design work?
Yeah, now that I think about it, it never really crossed my mind, but I do think like I love to incorporate like texture and color and like kind of making my design feel a bit tactile almost. So I guess that would make sense. I never really thought about it that way, but yeah.
That's super cool.
Let's see. Okay. Funky could be interesting.
Yeah, that could definitely give us some bubbly looks.
Yeah.
Maybe the brand's bubbly squeaky.
That would be pretty funny too. This one's pretty nice too. This one looks pretty similar to one I have, but I'm really into the like retro fonts. This could even be nice as a body copy as well. Ooh, potentially.
Yeah.
Because it has so much personality in the heavy, but then here it's like more chilled out.
Yeah. Yeah, it could definitely go well with the main font. Oh, there's a super bubbly one.
I know.
Whoa.
I'll activate this one too. Blow Up and New Kansas. Yeah, these are all very... Oh, this one's a good one too. Oh no, Blaze Face. Okay,
there's so many good ones. I can see why you would spend hours looking through all the fonts.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Steve said there's a UK slang called bubble and squeak. Yeah, Steve, isn't it like sauerkraut and pork or something? It's like I think you have it at a certain time of year. I forget, like New Year's maybe? I could be totally wrong, but yeah, bubble and squeak.
That's cool. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I might just move on with these four for now and then come back to it. Let me know if you guys have any preferences too.
It's gonna be hard to choose.
I know. I may just include bear as well because this one looks nice as a logo. Yeah, any sort of warp effect, I feel like always adds a nice touch.
Ooh, yeah, I really like that. Mohammed asked, how many typefaces can I use in packaging design?
That's a good question. I think people would say the rule of thumb is like 2 to 3, but I also feel like, you know, rules are meant to be broken, and like whatever visually just looks best. If you think it looks too busy and too crazy, then that's probably too much. But then if you think it looks good, then that's probably good. So I think, yeah, I guess most people would probably say 2 to 3, I think. But yeah, it just depends.
Yeah, that's really good to know. I feel like it's easy, especially as a new designer, to get carried away with it and think,
yeah, true.
Oh, I need to have all these different fonts to make it look cool, and forget that simple is best.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. Actually, I feel like the bulge effect could be cool in this instance. Let's see. because I feel like the bulge kind of feels like bubbly, so maybe cool.
Super fun too.
But I feel like this Y is like way farther out than the rest.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
For any of you that are just joining us here in the chat, help us pick out a font to use on Sarah's new soap brand.
Yes, I appreciate all the advice. I know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I think I'm leaning towards this one right now. Or I may even do the bear. I think the bear is just like, because it's such a short word, it works really well, and all the letter forms are so different. But the B is the only thing I may change.
It's funny because it almost seems like the B doesn't quite go with the rest of the typeface in general. It's like,
yeah, it's a bit weird. Yeah, I think what is it called? The counters, I think. The counters on the inside felt a little bit too big. So
yeah,
I might just make them a bit smaller. I guess like the nice thing about this is like normally I wouldn't alter text in this way unless I spent a really long time doing it. But because this font is so weird already, like even if these are like off-centered and stuff, I feel like because it's such a weird font, it kind of works, hopefully.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I feel like you can get away with it.
Yeah. Maybe closer. I think that's kind of working. That's kind of cool.
Christy said, leaning towards the warped bubbly.
The warped bubbly. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like this one a lot too.
I know.
Well, maybe we'll move forward with these two and see like what fits compositionally on the pack.
Okay, cool.
Obviously with it's nice having the luxury of being able, like you wouldn't be able to do this with a client obviously because there's, you know, a lot of restrictions, but okay.
Yeah, when you're choosing a font for a client, do you usually give them like a sheet like this with all your examples and then let them choose before you move forward, or?
So usually what I would do is I'd present to them like 2 creative directions, and then with like primary logos for each, but then at the end of the presentation deck, I'll leave a page of like, it's just titled exploration, and I'll have maybe 5 or 6 different logos that are like more refined like this, but obviously they've been more like finessed, I guess.
Yeah.
Just that way, because I don't like to, I like them to have as many options as possible and like a lot to pick from. So I just like to provide them with lots of exploration, basically.
Yeah, and I'm sure clients appreciate that, so they can kind of get some different visions, because clients never seem to know what they want until they see it. So
yeah. And even sometimes like following up with that point, I think I'll like oftentimes just present mood boards before I even start designing, like 2 to 3 different mood boards, and I'll kind of like name them with a theme, just so I know exactly what they want, because yeah, like you said, sometimes people don't really know what they want. So
yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, so I'll hold off on the sub logo. I think I'm gonna kind of start my creative process with personal projects. As you can see, is kind of all over the place because it's more just dependent on like what looks best, I guess, because this does just live on my social media. It's you know, not for a client. So a lot of the time I like to just design the front of pack first. So I've just pulled this off of the dieline. And then what I also like to do is I'll just pull up some stuff I've saved for this project. So I'm thinking of printing this on like a textured paper, but obviously, so I don't want to be designing on stark white. So I'll just drop in like a placeholder texture for now, because it kind of helps to give me a good idea of like what the final result is going to look like. And then obviously when I go to like print this and stuff, I delete this paper texture and then print on an actual like nice paper. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good idea, and it gives you a chance to really see what the colors will look like and
yeah,
how it'll all behave.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So this layer will be paper texture. And then let's see. I'm so bad. I just like go to the help section and like type what I need in the help section.
That's a good idea. I never think to do that.
I've gotten into such a bad habit with it that it's like it doesn't even cross my mind that I'm doing it. It's so bad.
So anytime you're like looking for where something is within Illustrator, just go in there and type it in.
Yeah, and it shows like where it's come from. So I should just memorize object and then go where it is. But the help is easy because it just takes you to exactly where you need to be.
That is so smart.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
It's very handy.
I'm so bad with Illustrator. It's one of the programs that I'm still kind of trying to learn, but now I know I can easily with help.
Yeah, it's super handy. So for the die line, I just made a new layer and I'm just like merging all of these different shapes together and then deleting anything on the inside. So this is basically going to just mask this, and you can just go Command-7 and then you've got that. And then which layer did I put it on? Oh, I put it on the artwork layer. And I may even just drop the opacity a bit because it's quite intense. And then this just helps me to get a better idea of like what it's gonna look like in the end.
So good. So how often are you doing personal projects versus client projects?
I would say I really try to prioritize personal projects because I found that like that's how clients find me oftentimes. So like I've posted like imaginary skincare projects on like Instagram, and like TikTok is like where I post a lot of my stuff as well, just my creative process. Really? Yeah. And so all of my clients have found me through social media. So it's like I kind of see it as my form of marketing. And it's just been really beneficial for finding clients. So I'd say like probably like 50% of my work week is spent on personal projects, maybe even more, because it seems like it just pays off so much. So yeah.
That's super cool. I feel like you're one of the first people I've heard say that, because, a lot of people are just like, oh, I don't have time for it with life and normal client projects. And clearly it pays off for you because it brings you more work and helps refresh your design skills and keeps you like really on your toes.
Yeah. And I think as well, like it just helps me stay inspired, because if there's anything like, I don't think you should feel the need to wait for a client to come to you in order to execute something that you feel inspired by. Like if you feel inspired and want to do something, you should just make it your own project. And then maybe a real client will come to you one day asking for something similar. So,
yes. Words of wisdom spoken here. I hope you all took note of that.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, so I've also done some little illustrations, just potentially if I want to use those as well. So I'll bring them in. And then, so with illustrations, an easy way to like vectorize them, I'm sure a lot of you guys know, but it's just image trace, and this just vectorizes them. And then you can kind of mess around with, like, if it's looking kind of funny, you can, I don't know, adjust it. And then I always just click ignore white, and that just takes off all the white, which is really handy. And then I just expand it, and then now it's all vectorized, which is nice. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but so I think I'm going to have a citrus one, a cucumber and mint one, and then a tropical scrub. So I'm thinking the chia seeds will be like the exfoliation aspect of it. So yeah, I've just drawn some little icons for that and stuff. And then I was thinking hands could be maybe like a part of the brand, because obviously soap is like associated with hands oftentimes. So that could be a cool little graphic.
I love it. And so you said you drew all of these, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And are you drawing them digitally or scanning them in?
I drew them digitally, but if you don't have something where you can draw digitally, it's easy enough to like, you could just draw this with Sharpie. And even like sometimes I would just take a photo with my phone and then image trace, or I'd kind of up the contrast so it wouldn't, pull, it would be easier to identify what's what. But yeah, you can just draw pen to paper too, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Okay, I may get the information on here first. So we'll do the citrus one first. I kind of think it would be cool to have a monospace font as well to balance out this personality with a more like medicinal kind of formal aspect. Could be cool, kind of cool, but let's see.
Ooh. I love it already.
Let's see.
I'm such a sucker for soap packaging. Like, we have a Kimberton's near us, which I think is, I don't know if it's everywhere, but it's kind of like a Whole Foods, and they have the best soap section. And I always go in there and buy soap based on the packaging. So
nice. I definitely do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Whole Foods the other day and they had some really pretty soaps there.
Oh, they're always so good. I'm like, yes, I will spend $10 on this bar of soap.
Yeah. Okay. I'm also thinking it may be cool to like multiply everything potentially. Could be cool.
How did you do the multiply?
So you just go under, is it this one? Yeah, this, oh, well, it's just under transparency.
Okay.
And yeah, you can just go multiply here. Perfect. Which is nice, yeah. And it just makes it look like it's been printed on the paper a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this is kind of chaotic, my whole artboard. It's like very crazy right now.
So fun to see the process.
Okay, actually front of pack.
Sam, hey Sam, wants to know how you find inspiration when you're in a design rut.
I like to take up something else. So if I'm like creatively stuck in terms of design, sometimes I'll take up photography or even painting or things like that. I think it's nice when you're a freelancer as well, because I feel like freelancers tend to have a bit more time than like, I mean, not necessarily, but you're at home, so you can kind of take up different projects on the side. So yeah, I like to do that because it definitely helps to re-inspire me. Even like, especially with photography, I feel like I've been going through a bit of a photography phase and it's kind of trickled into my design a little bit, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that's super cool. And do you find yourself often in a design rut, or do you feel like in doing these personal projects and kind of having the freedom to explore that, I'm sure that helps a lot, right?
Yeah, I think last year I was in a bit of a rut, but I feel like I've actually only been freelancing full-time since November.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. Cool. Yeah. So I don't think I've been in much of a rut like in the past 6 months, thankfully. And I do think this has helped a lot, like doing personal projects for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on going freelance so recently.
Yeah. Let's see.
Christy wants to know if you did the illustrations in Procreate.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But there's like lots of different programs you can use for that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. I'll put Lorem Ipsum for now as a placeholder.
We got lots of questions coming in for you. I know you're trying to type.
I know. I'm like, so much multitasking.
I know.
That's okay. Feel free
to space them out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So Jeff said that I'm new in the UX design and this is very informative how your mind goes through your design decisions. Love seeing it. So I think people are enjoying the messy mood board of ideas.
That's good. I know. I feel like it's a lot to juggle the questions as well as like designing, getting a bit of a brain freeze, but hopefully you guys are learning something.
Yeah, you're doing great.
That's good.
It's looking great and you're talking while you're teaching, so You're good. Yeah, I'll space them out for you. We have a few lined up.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like I kind of want it to be this balance of like really bubbly and organic, but also like medicinal. I'm thinking could be cool.
Yeah. I feel like that's a really nice pairing.
Yeah. Yeah, my mood boards or my art boards are definitely very, very crazy right now. I used to be, when I worked at a design studio, like super nervous for my like creative director to come and see my computer. Like if he walked past, I was like, don't look at it because it's just like, this is not the good stage yet.
Hey, well, that's how you have to work to get the creativity flowing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So many artists, including myself, are like extremely messy in the process. Like when people look in on what I'm working on, it's like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
So Val wants to know how the transition into the freelance world has been.
It's been good. I think like I kind of grew a little bit of a following on TikTok, and that's kind of how I transitioned to freelance, because I was getting more inquiries regarding like projects and stuff. And so it was, and because I had been working in a studio for about 2 years at that point, I knew, like, I kind of sort of saw the business side of things as well. So it wasn't like an overwhelming transition necessarily. And I don't know, very rewarding. It's like obviously a bit hard because you have to control your own time, and like it's a bit weird because I still haven't set up a good like 9-to-5 schedule or anything like that. But I also feel like you kind of have to let that go and go like, okay, however I work best is fine.
Absolutely. And isn't that part of the whole reason we go freelance anyways, so we can control our own schedule and not work 9 to 5?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember someone gave me advice because I was like, I'm really having a hard time setting up my schedule and working my 9 to 5 hours and getting things done. And they're like, yeah, but you quit your 9 to 5 to be able to work when you want to, when you feel like it, and do other things when you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So a technical question for you. Val was wondering how you cut the line from the circle in the description of the soap.
This one here?
Yeah.
So I would just add an anchor point like here and then V is like the normal selection tool, but if you go A on your keyboard, then it'll just select like a section and then you just delete it, which is nice.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so you just add anchor points and then cut out the little section. Thinking I might make a little lockup for this soap for soap thing as well. Actually, I'll do black for now.
You're so fast with Illustrator. It's amazing.
I feel like hopefully, but I also feel like I'm very flustered, but that's okay.
No, you're doing so great.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's just get all the information on there and then we can design it more. So you need product weight.
How long does it typically take you to do a project like this? Like if you weren't live streaming, how long would this take you?
For a personal project, maybe it's hard to say. I'd work on it on and off for like a week or two maybe, but
okay.
I actually did a personal project recently that's shared on the Adobe Designs Instagram page. And that was just a personal packaging project that you guys can check out too. That one took I think it was on and off about 2 weeks, but yeah, not like nearly as much time as a real client project would be. So
that's awesome. I have to check that out.
Yeah. Okay.
The one on your Behance, Bestie Skincare, is that real or did you make that up?
That one was just made up. Yeah.
So cute. Yeah. I love it. I would buy it.
Thanks. That was a fun one.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I have to ask her where I can buy that.
I know. I wish it was real. That would be cool.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that link, Val. Everyone definitely go check that out on Adobe Design Instagram, and you can see Sarah's beautiful design on there for a white chocolate bar. It's so good. I love it.
Thanks. Let me know if anyone thinks there's anything else I should include on the pack too in terms of information or like designs or anything.
Yes, very good. Yeah, that would be good. Jeff was wondering, when you're working on personal projects or for a client, do you set a time limit and break it apart throughout the day or just go with the flow?
It depends. I think lately it's been go with the flow. I do kind of keep time in the back of my mind just because it is client work and I am being paid for it and stuff. But yeah, I kind of just go with the flow. I do use like Notion a lot to keep track of like planning and stuff like that as well. That's been super helpful and made me a lot more organized for sure. But more so go with the flow lately.
Cool.
Even try the serif font.
I'm so mesmerized. This is like really inspiring me to get into
That's
get into Illustrator. I'm like, I really avoid it, even though it's a pretty easy program. But I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna make this in Photoshop because that's like my home base. And my brother's always like, what are you doing? Why are you designing in Photoshop? Are you out of your mind? It's like, that's why Adobe made Illustrator. I'm like, I know. Yeah, but this is really, really cool to see the whole process.
That's good. I'm not really sure how to incorporate. If anyone has any ideas on how to incorporate these illustrations, let me know, because I didn't really think about that too much.
I feel like it could be cool to do like maybe one of the lemons or a hand kind of bigger, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Play with it going off the page.
Yeah. Okay, let's try. I'm thinking maybe even could have this way, and then the information kind of going here maybe too. So let's try that, and then let's try like you suggested as well.
Val said, maybe as a text lockup end cap, like a tiny little illustration icon at the bottom.
Oh yeah, that could be cool. Do you mean just down, like grounding it at the bottom? Like I could have text maybe. I do kind of like the idea of having it be really subtle, like just one singular icon, as opposed to, because initially I was thinking it would be all kind of crazy, but this font is quite crazy as well. So they might compete too much. Let's see. And maybe something more geometric like this one.
Val said, yeah, I think it's kind of cute, like a little secret in the design.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I'll definitely experiment with that as well.
Brian suggested using the illustration as a text box for the information. That's a good idea too.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that as well. Like that could be a cool way, is using it like a lockup for a call out maybe. Could be kind of cool. Yeah, I was starting to do that there, but then I'm like, I'll come back to that. But yeah, that's a good idea.
Looks like we got a few new people joining us in here in the chat. Welcome in. And Sara is currently working on a soap design, a soap packaging design for a made up vegan soap brand.
Yeah. Okay, and then you mentioned potentially having the illustrations kind of bleeding off the pack, right? Maybe I'll try that too. Okay. So basically I'm just putting these in this mask, which holds the paper texture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So cool. Sangeeta asked, did you learn how to create illustrations, or is it something you were always passionate about? I'm a graphic designer and would love to expand my skills in illustration. Any tips for that?
I've always kind of liked to illustrate, but luckily when I studied graphic design, part of the program was like one semester, I think the semester was split half photography, half illustration. So we did kind of learn a bit of illustration. But I think illustration is one of those things that you definitely don't need like to formally like study or anything. You can just learn on your own. And I think there's like plenty of resources on YouTube and things like that to learn. So yeah, I think illustration is definitely something that can be self-taught. And I, for the most part, I think like kind of just taught myself.
Awesome. Yeah, you're really good at it. These are super
Thanks.
cute.
That's weird that it's not connecting. I kind of feel like I need a bit more information on the front of the pack to fill it up. I've got the soap for soap lockup. I could just use like lorem ipsum as like an additional like descriptor text box for more information maybe. Leaning towards this one, but let's do something with this. It's tricky with these illustrations, I think, like making sure they don't compete. So I do like the suggestion of having like a tiny little one for sure.
I love seeing the different variations because it really takes on a whole different feel for each packaging mock-up.
Yeah.
You know, and the customers it would attract too.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of aiming for something like a little bit more edgy. Could even do these different colors maybe. That might be too crazy. I do like that, but I also don't feel like it conveys citrus anymore when I have it like that. So probably not the best idea, but I'll pull it to the side. I'm like really into like fully justified text right now for some reason. I feel like it just looks kind of contemporary and fun, but it's also like so hard to get it to work right and actually look good. Okay, we'll just leave that.
Christy wants to know how you find colors for your color palettes.
That's tricky. I don't know. A lot of the time I'll go to Pinterest and just like look for inspiration. I have like just a lot of color palettes like saved just from over the years. And I think also just thinking like, what kind of energy are you trying to bring to the brand and the mood you're trying to bring? So if you want it to be very like bold and daring and edgy, obviously you can use more neon colors. Or if you want it more sustainable, you use softer pastels. But I don't really have a rhyme or reason. Oops. I just kind of like play around in here and see what looks best. Yeah, I don't have too much advice. I kind of just play around.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's good advice too. Just experimenting and
Yeah.
seeing what works.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, even if you're new to design, your eye really tends to know what works and what doesn't. And you start to put it on the paper and be like, oh, something feels totally off about that. Or like, ooh, that feels really good.
Yeah. That's such a
like
good point.
Yeah, it's like a gut instinct, a
Yeah.
design gut.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think sometimes like it's good to just like know the rules and know the fundamentals, but then just go with your gut at the end of the day, because that's kind of what, even like with aligning things and stuff, I usually just optically kind of, if things look not aligned but they are aligned, then I just go with what the eye, makes more sense.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay, I might just go with this for now and then come back to it, I think. Not sure what happened with my Illustrator now. It's all the artboards are blending together. And then I've just also labeled like front of pack and then top lip and which angle it goes, just so I know and I don't get mixed up. Mm.
Val said it looks tasty. I know it's soap, but it looks tasty. I agree. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, true.
I'm like it tasting the citrus.
Like food. Yeah.
Like, blend of lemons, oranges, and limes. Okay.
Yeah. It could even have a sub logo, maybe. Like stacked could be cool. Actually, I might keep it this way since technically this is upwards.
Oh yeah, and it'd be standing like.
Yeah.
Eileen said press Command-Shift-H to bring back the artboards.
Oh, yay. Thank you, Eileen.
Yes.
I was like, what happened? I knew I hit Command-Shift like something, but I didn't know what exactly I hit.
I hate when that happens and you can't like get it reset.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no way. Sangita said, also I watched Sarah's video on unique ways to land a graphic design job and it actually worked. I'm working my dream job right now. So thanks to you, would recommend to watch if anyone is looking for a job.
Oh, that's so cool.
Congratulations.
That's so awesome. Yeah, so cool. I wonder where she's working at. Sounds like really fun.
Yeah, let us know where. That's so cool.
So cool. Yeah, I was actually messaging somebody. I have an Etsy, and I'm not sure why she messaged me on Etsy, but she was asking for advice on getting an internship. And she messaged me back a week ago or so. And she's like, I got the internship. Thank you for the help.
Oh, I was like, wow.
So cool. Yeah.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah, that's always such nice feedback to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such like I feel like getting awesome jobs. It's just like, I don't know. I remember when I was interviewing for design jobs and stuff, it's such like a nerve-wracking thing. And it just feels so good when you just like, gotten your dream job. So
cool.
Cool.
Absolutely. Was that a video that you had on TikTok, or where was the video?
I think it was on YouTube, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
She just linked it.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. It's a bit tricky as well. I don't think I have it set it up to scale. Actually, I may have it set up to scale. The only tricky thing is this font is like 4 points, and usually typically people would say, I think 6 is like the minimum. So I may print this out later tonight and just make sure that this looks okay. So what do you typically do, Anna, for design? Do you mostly specialize in like art or design, or?
Yeah, so I do Photoshop composites, like very surreal, dreamy worlds.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of my art side of things. And then my husband James and I run a travel business, and we do photography and video for tourism boards and outdoor brands. And
oh, dang.
Yeah, so kind of a little mix of both.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I'll have to check out your work after this. That sounds like really fun.
Yeah,
Photoshop's like such a fun app as well. It's just
I know.
my favorite.
I love Photoshop. That's like my baby. I love it so much. But
nice.
Yeah, I just followed you on Instagram, so we should definitely connect.
Oh, cool. Yes.
This is bringing back so many memories for me of like I worked at a branding agency when I first moved to LA, and we would do a lot of packaging design. And I remember doing this, it was like some sort of hair care, and it had so many ingredients. And
oh my gosh.
And the package, it was like this little tiny oil or something. I think it was like a hair growth thing. And trying to fit the ingredients was the bane of my existence for a good 3 months or more.
Oh, dang.
And I'm just like, it's bringing back all the memories.
Oh no.
This at least is fun though.
Yeah, I've definitely worked on projects like that as well, with crazy packaging requirements, especially the back of pack. It's just like cramming in all this information.
I know. And it's like, what do you want me to do here? There's not enough room. The package is way too small. And have you ever run into issues like that where you can't, if you make the text smaller, it will not be legible, or if your package isn't big enough? Like, what do you do in that situation?
I'm trying to think. I feel like I do recall like running into those problems before. It's tricky because you can't really ask the client to like change the copy or anything either. Yeah, I don't know. I think like a lot of the time I'll just like adjust the like kerning or leading, and then just get the font as small as you can. And just like rejig the composition a bit. I mean, I feel like there's always a way. It just takes a little bit of time to kind of, yeah, get it right, I guess.
So true. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, definitely.
AR asked, where is the packaging mock-up from, the one that you're working on right now?
So this one I just made myself. So yeah, I kind of just Googled box dieline and kind of just like, I guess when you look at a lot of dielines, you start to understand like how all the folds and flaps work and stuff. So I kind of just drew it out in Illustrator, just like, you know, adding the boxes and the edges and things like that. But I think you can find like dieline templates online, or oftentimes I'll like go to the store, and if I see a cool packaging, I'll or like if I have cool packaging at home, I'll like take it apart and look at the dieline. But yeah, this one I just made myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. And then Val asked, if this were client work, at what point would you have been sharing with your client and why?
So I always do, so I'll do first like mood board presentation with just exclusively mood boards, no design on my side. And then I'll do a presentation with 2 creative territories that I present to them. And I usually do the packaging as like a whole separate stage, because I think it's good to have the brand like fully fleshed out before you move on to packaging. So the packaging would be like a third presentation. And I usually offer like 2 rounds of amends. And then if they want more, then we just charge like an extra quote for that. But usually that's like plenty. And I always offer like exploration pages and things like that, so they have options. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's great advice no matter like what industry you're in. And even I would say mostly in the creative industries, but kind of these different areas of getting feedback from the clients and really offering like a thorough presentation to show your idea. And yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone's loving this so far. We have people comments saying how good it looks.
Good. It does honestly look quite a lot like food. Like this looks a lot more like food than it does soap, but I guess we can just call it like some sort of alternative, like yeah, it's trying to be unique.
Yeah. Hey, well, it does have the food objects in there. So
yeah.
Kerwin said, I can barely contain my excitement. Love it.
That's good. I'm not sure what to do about this little lockup. I guess it doesn't need to be a lockup. It could be some other call out. Trying to decide what to add now. Let's see.
When you finalize these designs, do you usually add in any like fake ingredients or the about us, or do you usually just leave the lorem ipsum and make it mostly about the design elements themselves?
It just depends. Sometimes I'll even do like, I think with the project that is on Adobe Designs, like I would do the first few sentences. Sometimes I'll do the full copy if I have like a really good story that like I've come up with. But sometimes I'll just use lorem ipsum as well.
Cool. Oh, wow. That's so cool. Val just put in the link for Project Fantastic Fold from Adobe. And so for anyone watching this replay or watching now, definitely an amazing thing to check out. It looks like it says it's an intuitive tool that helps you fold 2D die lines for packaging, displays, and paper kits into 3D forms.
Oh, cool. Oh, I'll have to check that out. That sounds super cool.
Yeah. Project Fantastic Fold from Adobe Labs.
Okay.
Angela is wondering if the Cacao Amigos white chocolate packaging is real or if it was a mock-up.
That was just a mock-up. So basically I designed it like this. And then I kind of did the same thing where I printed it out on like a nice paper and then just scanned it back in. So it looks like a little bit more real, I guess. But yeah, that was just like another personal project as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like all these tabs. I have your Instagram up, your Behance. So I'm like looking at your projects as you're working. Yeah, that's a really, really cool way to make it have some more dimension to it.
Yeah. Yeah, because if I was just to use this, I feel like it looks quite flat and I like all the imperfections in it and everything. So
yeah, and like if you just put a drop shadow on it, it just doesn't give it that real texture. And this has like such it
definitely
feels like it's coming out of the page.
Yeah.
Just want to give a reminder here while Sara is working. Any of you that are watching over on YouTube, be sure to come over to behance.net/Adobe Live so that you can join in on the conversation and ask Sara any questions as she's working along here. And for any of you just joining us, we were having a bit of a discussion on what the name should be and the font. And now we've moved ahead with designing this beautiful soapbox. So if any of you either watching now in the chat or over on YouTube have any feedback, come over and let us know. Val is loving the little stickers, the little illustrations. So cute.
That's good. Yeah, I like putting little messaging on this tab as well because it's like when you open it, it's like a little message that was like otherwise would be hidden. Yeah.
Yeah, I always love when packaging have like the little
Yeah.
hidden message. It's like, you look beautiful today.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so cute. I feel like they always do that on like the mailers when you like open the mailer and it's like
Yep.
nice inside display and everything.
Yes.
I do want to incorporate this orange and this green more, but it's a bit unsure how to do that.
Angela was wondering where you learned to make the die lines. Was it in school, or I know you said you take apart your boxes and kind of study them?
I did a lot of like packaging because I used to work at a design studio for about 2 years after I graduated. And so we did like tons of packaging there. So I think there was where I kind of saw like how packaging all works and stuff. But yeah, so I'd say mostly like learned on the job, not really in university. In university, we actually mostly did like publications. And we mostly used InDesign. We like rarely used Illustrator, which is kind of weird. But it was fun though. I liked making books. But yeah, mostly at my job. But you can like learn, as I said, just from like looking at images of like die lines and stuff. I think it's pretty easy to pick up like how all the tabs fold together and stuff.
Cool. And then is there anything in terms of like the mathematical sizes that, for example, like say the front of it's one size, are the sides then half of the front, or is it kind of just a guesstimate when you make them?
So the front side is obviously like the main side of the soap. And then these sides, you just know, okay, that's like the thickness of the soap. And then you obviously need your back of pack and then a tab, which is this one, to like glue onto this. So there's no like opening that it's, sealed flush. And then the bottoms are always kind of different. You can have like, I think there's a term for it. I don't remember what it's called, but they kind of like lock together. So there doesn't need to be glue, or you can have these types where I think there would be glue. But yeah, it's all like, this is quite simple. I think what I've got here, I think this is like kind of more straightforward. But yeah.
Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah.
Eileen said maybe put the other colors in the backgrounds of the oval with the text.
The oval with this one here?
I think the ones about us, ingredients, contact us. I think that's what she meant.
Let's try that. Yeah, I was thinking maybe of just filling these circles. These could be... Just use, I would normally like cut this out, but for now I'll just use like a cream color.
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah. Let's see if it'd be too much, but yeah, I think that might be too much. Just keep this lorem ipsum for now. Even try to do boxes maybe. Let's see. feel like it feels a little bit floaty right now, so I'm just trying to figure out how to like ground these a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I definitely love the color change though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks good. I think it's kind of nice on the back of pack as well, because I think somewhere there could be more color, maybe on the sides of the pack.
Yeah.
Could even do like full color potentially. Oop, not sure what's going on with the A. Somehow I got lost. Okay, I think that's maybe too much.
Okay, I got 3 questions for you.
Okay, cool.
So let's see. Kerwin said, what about straight up reversing the color of the package? I don't know if we'll have time for something like that, but that could be fun. Like an orange textured box with the plain paper texture in place of the design elements.
Ooh, that could be cool. I will definitely consider. I'm not sure if I have time to do that, but maybe I will test that out later.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea. I know I never really think to do full flood color, but it's always like very impactful when you do that.
I know, and something kind of fun to mix things up too.
Yeah.
And then Tilda said, how do you plan out where everything is going to be?
I write like the hierarchy on pack, like the front of pack and back of pack. And so that kind of helps me understand like what needs to be either the largest and boldest and like the most subtle, and I kind of go top to bottom. So I just try to think like, where does my eye go first, and then second and third, and like where does my eye jump around on the page. And then with these personal projects, I also just try to think like what other brands, like what's mandatory on the pack, like what other brands have on the pack. And then from there, as long as your eye kind of goes to the right places and stuff, then I think that it works.
Really good advice. Yeah, definitely the hierarchy of design is important to keep in mind. And then, as we were talking about earlier, with like that general feeling that you get when you look at it.
Yeah.
How's this sitting with me?
Yeah.
And then let's see, last question for you right here in this section of questions. Val asked, what are your favorite color combos to design with?
That's a good question. I kind of like unconventional, almost kind of like ugly color combos, or things that people wouldn't normally do, because I think they're kind of edgy. I like things that are like slightly muted or kind of grungy sometimes. That's always fun. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that you like to design with ugly colors, because I feel like it's so hard for many people to be able to do that, because it's just something we're not used to. And I think it creates really dynamic and interesting work.
Yeah, I think so. For some reason, this isn't cutting. I'll leave that for now. Could even do the boxes are colored. Maybe that might be too crazy, but let's see. Maybe not. It's weird that it's pulling from there. Okay. Could add little contact icons too, potentially.
Oh, yeah.
I think, what kind of other contact details? Oh no, it's shifted. I guess like companies will put their address and their phone numbers as well.
Yeah.
I could just put.
Yeah, I feel like an Instagram icon or something could be cute.
Yeah, let's do that. Do mail icon, Instagram icon, and phone icon maybe.
Yeah.
If we have time.
Wow, this is amazing. Making the little icons from scratch. So cool.
I might pull up the Instagram icon to make sure that I have it right. Let's see.
I know, I was like, I was just thinking, how is she gonna make this? I'm very curious to see this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's actually pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah, pretty simple. That's good. I would image trace it, but I think I want all the strokes to be live and be the same. So. Let's do this. So tiny, working on like the tiniest little details ever.
I know. So cute. Perfect. So Val is asking, what's your favorite part of your design process and why? It's probably not making these little detail edits.
I really like I feel like the final stages are always really nice because it's satisfying seeing everything come together. But I also feel like color, like adding color and texture and any of that, I feel like just really completes it. Once you start adding color, I feel like it really like brings things to life, which is fun.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I may just image trace this for now to save time. And then just that later.
So would you make that from scratch if it wasn't for the time of being here on live stream?
I try to just like to match the aesthetic and stuff, especially because like if the strokes are different weights and stuff. And I don't know, I like having everything live that way. It's just easier to alter if I need to. Whoops. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but I'm just adding a little bit of a stroke so it hopefully like matches the other ones a little bit better.
Yeah, good question in relation to this. Do you always make icons from scratch or do you have resource sites for icons?
I know there's like a lot of resource sites for icons. I just make them from scratch. But yeah, I know there's like plenty of resource sites. You definitely don't need to make them from scratch.
Yeah, that's amazing that you do. When you started making the line of the little email symbol, I was like, whoa.
I don't know. It never like crossed my mind to, but that seems so much easier to just like find resources for icons.
Yeah,
sure.
I feel like especially when they get more complicated, like it's one thing to make these, but if you started doing, like I know I saw you had the vegan symbol as an idea for the back, and recycling and all that, then probably finding them is easier, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Not sure what it is about the black lines, but I feel like they're kind of heavy or like too intense, but I also feel like it looks kind of floaty without them. Like it looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they could be lighter weights.
What do you feel are some things that are like design no-nos these days in 2022?
I
know that's kind of like a tough question.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think like many things are no-nos because I think there's always like a way that you can make it work. Or like I don't know, I think like there's design rules, but I also think like it's okay to break them when you know when it's appropriate. Like even like stretching fonts and stuff like that, like everybody says that's a big no, but I also think like if you're trying to make a brand that's really like edgy and bold and rule breakers, maybe that would be appropriate. So
true.
I don't know, I feel like there's no like hard no-nos in my books.
Yeah, I love that because I think there's so many times where maybe someone says, oh, like you don't do drop shadow anymore, no more like opacity changer. I don't know. I'm just throwing some, I've heard out there, like don't put a stroke around it or something. But I think that's such good advice in that, you know, it's based on how you design and what you do with it. And rules are meant to be broken. And if you can make it creative and edgy and do something new, then absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I think so too. Okay. If anyone has any other information they think I should add on the back, I might add these. I'll hold off on the icons for now. I guess you could add a section on like how to use, but soap is pretty self-explanatory.
I know. Yeah, I feel like there's definitely been some soaps that do that kind of in a funny way, you know, like lather, wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
What is the one? Oh, we're obsessed with Dr. Squatch soap, and they always have like funny things on the packaging. I think I've seen one that's like it's like wash in the shower and contemplate life.
Oh, that's good. That's funny.
So we have a little less than 10 minutes here. If anyone has any final questions for Sara as she's finishing up, and anything else that you would like to add, please send it over our way. And then just a reminder for afterwards, be sure to continue watching and stay tuned for the XD Creative Challenge Encores right after this stream, where they will continue with the logo theme challenges. And then don't forget that Adobe Live will be back tomorrow morning with Adobe Creative Cloud Express evangelist Katrin at 8:30 Pacific time. And there you'll be able to learn how to make an email header in the very easy to use app. I absolutely love using that app. I use it for a ton of different things, for stories, for reels, for little icons on Twitter, like you name it, that app is my go-to. So highly recommend checking that out. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll just let Sara finish up this beautiful design and send over any questions that you all have.
Cool. My layers have gotten so messed up. It was like I had it going good at the start, but that's okay.
I know. I feel like that always happens to me too.
Yeah.
I saw something in here. Tilda was asking, so you make your mood board at the beginning of a project. Are there any other ways that you like to save your ideas?
I'll sometimes draw like just in notebooks as well, like thumbnail sketches of stuff. I'll like sometimes even look in design books, but I know it's such a basic answer, but mostly Pinterest, to be honest, just having mood boards. And sometimes I'll even share my mood boards with my clients and like have them pin stuff to the mood board as well, because I just find like as much inspo as they can send me, the better. It's always like super helpful to just see what they're thinking, and Pinterest is something that like everybody knows how to use, so it's pretty helpful for sure.
Yeah, that's such a great idea. I often do that with clients too, and just have them get into the Pinterest board and see what kind of I'm envisioning, and then pin stuff. And I feel like it's a great way to communicate visually before everyone's kind of like, oh, well, that's not what I was thinking, and this is what I was thinking. You know, it helps make things very clear.
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
Tilda said it would be cute to add a cute quote or message at the bottom.
Oh, that would be cute. I feel like with these, it would be pretty cute.
Yeah.
Put Laura Mipsum for now. Let's see. thinking probably won't have time today, but I do want to incorporate the soap for soap, like their own little charity thing somewhere on the back of the pack would be good too.
Yeah, that would be good.
But I think maybe breaking this format so it's like has more attention brought to it as opposed to like keeping the same format.
Let's see. So creative Runak says, if we need, how would we put the name of a particular company with trademark or team at the end? How would we put recyclable icon or any other icon on the back of the pack? Are you referring to specifically the trademark symbol and TM symbol? Or just let us know, clarify a little if you can, please.
Yeah, I do feel like there's like I think with a lot of those like the recycle logos or vegan logos or things like that, you do have to Google their brand. Like they always have their own brand guidelines and stuff, like minimum of like 8 millimeters high by wide, and it has to have like 10 mils clear space or whatever. So I think if it's a real client, yeah, there's always like weird brand guidelines around like how to use those logos and not use those logos. Yeah. If that's what they're referring to.
Yeah, let us know. And yeah, barcode. I guess that's something.
Oh yeah, that
like probably has its own regulations too, right?
Yeah. And I worked at a design studio in New Zealand, so I feel like even in a different country, they would have like different barcode rules too. So it was always weird barcode rules too.
Yeah. And is that usually something maybe you just kind of like, if this was for a client, would you mock up a barcode and then you get a specific barcode at the end?
Yeah. Usually the client will provide the barcode and like buy it and stuff. And there'll be like codes, like whatever the code is. And then you can Google the dimensions of that. And then I would just use a placeholder of that specific format of barcode, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is looking so good. We just have a couple minutes here. So any last questions, please send them over.
Yeah.
If not, we'll be back tomorrow. You can ask them then.
Hopefully I answered enough questions.
Oh, absolutely.
When I like work normally design, if I have like other design peers, I'm like so quiet and like channeled.
I know.
It's like definitely a struggle, but hopefully I like give some good tips and stuff.
Oh, you did. You totally did. You did a great job of sharing your experience with also sharing this beautiful design. So yeah, you are awesome. And yeah, thank you so much. It came out really cool. And I can't wait to see what we do tomorrow. And stick around for the XD Creative Challenge Encores coming up right after this. And we'll be back tomorrow for part 2 at 12 p.m. Pacific, where Sara will be working on branding and packaging in Illustrator and Photoshop. Thank you so much, Sara. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We will see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Cool.